In this video, we are going to see about process management. I am Kalaimani I, Assistant Professor of CSE Department from K.S.R. College of Technology. In process management, in this video, we are going to see about interprocess communication. Shortly, we call it as IPC. Interprocess communication. Generally, in a system, we are having two types of process, independent process and cooperating process. Independent process is nothing but it doesn't want to take or send any information to other process. We call that process as independent process. When one process is communicating with another process, then the process is called as cooperating process. It is used when one program is having several process. We are moduling the program as several process. In that case, we call that process as cooperating process. The advantages of cooperating process are information sharing. We can have single copy of information, then thereby we can share the information. We can improve the speed of the system when we go for the cooperating process. And also the work is done in modules, so the modularity gets increased and the convenience will be very easy when we go for the cooperating process. Cooperating process need IPC, inter-process communication. We have to communicate between the processes. For this, two models are the shared memory, message passing. The shared memory is nothing but it is depicted in figure B. We are commonly reserved a memory space for shared memory. It the data contained in that shared memory can be accessed by process which are assigned access privileges. Next one is message passing. The kernel, the operating system, sends message to particular process whether it is needed by the process. And the next concept is producer consumer problem. This is an important topic in IPC. The producer consumer problem, it is nothing but it is a paradigm of cooperating process. Means that a producer process gives the information which is consumed by another process called consumer process. It is implemented by two concepts, unbounded buffer and bounded buffer. Buffer is nothing but intermediate storage. It is a simple storage we are using, we call it as buffer. Bounded buffer, the size is limited, we call it as bounded buffer. The size is unlimited, we call it as unbounded buffer. The unbounded buffer is having major drawbacks and inconveniences, so mostly we are not using in IPC. Preferably bounded buffer is used. In this shared memory concept is implemented by using the bounded buffer. The IPS provides two operations called send and receive. The best example for send and receive messages when we are having two processes P and Q wish to communicate. First of all, we have to establish a communication link between P and Q, then exchange a message using send and receive. We will see how the send and receive operation works in next forthcoming slides. And the next one is in this, the first one is communication link. We have to implement the communication link, then we can send and receive message. While sending and receiving, we are having two types of communication, direct communication and indirect communication. The direct communication indicates the name of a process itself, send of P comma message. Here we are using the send operation. When at the receiver end, it having the message operation receive of Q comma message. When we go for the indirect communication, it is directly represented with the mailbox, or you can say it as port address, send of A comma message and the receive of A comma message. We are sending a message to a particular port number. The receiver will receive message from that port number. Next concept is message passing. It is either blocking message or a non-blocking message passing. We can say it as synchronous message passing and asynchronous message passing. The blocking message passing is called as synchronous message passing, while non-blocking message passing is called as asynchronous message passing. In this synchronous message passing, we are having a concept called buffering, because we are blocking the message which is sent from the sender end and stored it in a buffer. Later, after the synchronization acknowledgement received, it will send to the receiver. Next concept is communication in client server system. We have to establish the communication links. The communication links can be established by four methods. The first one is socket, number two, remote procedure call, number three, pipes, and the number four is remote method invocation. The sockets in the previous example itself, we represent port. The port is nothing but we are using the sockets. The socket is defined as endpoint for communication. We are represent port for each and end of the socket. And the next one is remote procedure call. The remote procedure call is nothing but we are creating a stub which request from the client system and it sends to the server. The server processing the request and it places the data in the stub which can be accessed by the client side stub. The next concept is pipe. It acts as a conduit between the two processes which wish to communicate. We are having two pipes, ordinary pipes and named pipes. In ordinary pipes, the consumer writes to the one end and the producer writes to the one end and consumer reads from the other end. In named pipes, the message sent with the particular process name itself. And the next concept is remote method invocation. This type of communication is mainly used in Java. Here, a remote method is called to get the service which is provided by the server. This is the concept of IPC. Thank you.